Morning, Big Fin.
Morning, Scott. How you doing?
Good.
What we got rolling over here?
Two-slate gravy and just thawing out another packet for tomorrow morning.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
There's a couple more right on the edge of the trees to the left. 3 more. Well, Matthew, it appears as though everybody left after Labor Day.
Seems that way.
Nobody here.
No. The archery hunters are starting to set up for the season that starts in a few days, and we're probably some of the last couple rifle hunters out here.
Well, let's get going while the sun is in our favor, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Matthew, he just trucked way out there to look over more bucks. But the buck that he passed on out here 2 days ago that he hemmed and hawed, I found him. He's just right over here about 1,000 yards away. Got a bunch of phone video of him on my all-in digiscoping. But I don't know if Matthew will want to shoot him today either. He's just a 2.5-year-old buck, but he's the boss 2.5-year-old buck because right now he's got about 25 does rounded up over there, and he's running off every little buck around. But today's the last day that Jace is here to film it. If we don't shoot one today, the footage is really going to go downhill. Scott's laughing.
Well, we filmed. We didn't have a cameraman for the Nevada hunt, and it's very noticeable when you watch the video. It's a great. He shoots a great buck, but the footage is pretty sorry footage.
Well, we'll wait till he comes back. I'll show him the footage, and I don't know. I'd say if he doesn't see anything up here that interests him, I know him well enough that I think he's about ready to make a purchase here. He's done window shopping.
Figured you'd send someone if you found something nice.
Well, what do you call nice?
I don't know, better than what we've been seeing?
No. Haven't found anything better than what we've been seeing. But I found the buck you passed on 2 days ago with the doe with the bloody shoulder.
Yeah.
What'd you find over there?
Not a lot. It's
There's one other buck up there where those guys on the ATV stopped and talked to us a couple days ago, but I can't tell.
Yeah, the best one that I've seen today by far watered right when we got here and just ran the whole way back up.
Yeah, I saw him.
He was the next class up, like pretty clearly.
Really? Like, you think he's 3.5? Really?
Yeah.
Did you relocate him up there?
No. We were down here, he went far enough that I lost him behind the hill and I never saw him again. So, and then the next nicest one is with a doe just on the far side of the dry river bed, or lake bed.
Yeah.
Kind of want to go back on this side up there, go for a little hike, That
So
one would,
you want to drive way up there where we turn around,
Yeah.
and then walk out onto that point.
yeah. Jace found a little road that we think we can drive, you know, an extra quarter or half mile on.
A little on the dusty side here.
Well, Matthew went on a big hike along this rim looking down. He's convinced there's antelope off this rim, so he's coming back. He's walking a little faster than when he was walking over there, so I know maybe he's coming back for a spotter, or maybe just is in a hurry to get to the next spot. I don't know, but I'll give him an A for effort today. He's been walking and hiking and looking. I've mostly been kind of lounging in the shade, glassing from here. I counted 10 of them over here. I wonder how many he saw. The biggest one had a horn about that, 2 horns about that long. He's a 14-incher if you add both horns together.
Coming back to say we can move on.
Nothing down there?
I mean, there probably is. There's 2 water holes with water in them down there,
Yeah.
but I couldn't see anything, so.
Huh.
But theory down there would be it's more tucked away and hopefully nothing, you know,
Yeah.
nobody else would have gone down there.
Messed with him.
Seems like it's good habitat though.
Huh.
So I don't know. Can just
Well,
keep
what's the
going.
plan then?
Finish the loop, drop down off the ledge, hope we find something.
Hope we find something. All right. I'm gonna have to fold up my shade here.
Oh, he's coming out to meet this buck.
I think this is the group that we saw the other day when those people on the side-by-side pulled up, talked to us. But the group has grown.
So the heat waves are so bad we can't really see anything about this one that's out there. And we're getting low on time, so instead of waiting him out, we're just gonna go drive down there and see if we can get closer, get a better look. Seems like we can probably come back to this water hole and find something here, so not too worried about leaving these ones. It is interesting that one fairly young buck has managed to corral like 30 does, but that seems to be how it works out here. So. I mean, what is it I always say? You look for a while and then you take the next one that's better than the rest. This guy counts even if he's not dramatically better than the rest.
I know a lot of people come to this landscape and it doesn't impress them the way it impresses me. But in the 1930s, the Boone and Crockett Club bought a property over on the Nevada side called the Last Chance Ranch. And the reason they did it, it might have been in the 20s even, they did it because they were concerned that the last remnant of pronghorn, not just in the Great Basin, but in the entire West, was right over there in northern Nevada, right here on the Nevada-Oregon line. It was so desolate, so away from everything, that the last stronghold of pronghorn was here in northern Nevada. So they bought that ranch. Eventually they turned it over to what is now the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for the sole purpose of managing for pronghorn the Sheldon antelope range. National Wildlife Refuge, most people call it the Sheldon Antelope Range, is the only complex that is managed specifically for pronghorn, one of our unique native species. And a lot of people will say, whoa, 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 wait a minute, Randy, what about Heart Mountain in Oregon? Right. Heart Mountain, once the Sheldon became a pronghorn place, Heart Mountain, just north of there, became a connection to that also, and is part of, some people will call it the Sheldon Heart Mountain Complex. The primary focus is native wildlife, specifically pronghorn. And that was started by the Boone and Crockett Club. It was one of the many things they did as the early conservation club, the early conservation organization. You know, in today's world, they would have never called themselves a club. They would have called themselves a foundation or association or whatever. But back in the late 1800s, when the Boone and Crockett Club was founded by some of our most preeminent conservation leaders, our early leaders of Roosevelt, Grinnell, Pinchot, I mean, the list goes on and on of people who made a difference to stop the depletion of wildlife, saved the last remnants of the bison, saved the last remnants of pretty much every species. They were the ones who were always putting their foot forward, writing the checks to do stuff like this. So the beauty of what is still here in northern Nevada, in southern and southeastern Oregon, was started by the Boone and Crockett Club. And I think it's really cool that probably the most iconic species that is unique to the West is the pronghorn. They have no relative, their tree in the world of evolution went from 12 subspecies of pronghorn in the United States or in North America to 1. And this is a place that is managed specifically for them. And to the credit of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, as feral horses were damaging and taking over these pronghorn ranges, these wildlife refuges, they said, no, not here. We're going to go remove these horses. So they have removed most of the horses off the refuges to the degree that they can. And when I say refuges, I'm talking about the Sheldon and Heart Mountain. Now, you get off the refuge and there's still tons of those feral horses. Those things are hammering and destroying all this native habitat. They're outcompeting mule deer, they're outcompeting pronghorn. They're destroying these sage communities that are so critical to sage grouse. Yet, due to litigation, we're not able to do anything about it, or very little about it. So credit to the BLM who's trying to do something about it now. Credit to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service who said, no, our priority is native wildlife. So if you ever get a chance, whether you're just coming wildlife viewing or you just want to go on a cool trip, come and do the loop through the Sheldon. Go read the history of how the Sheldon was founded and became this really, really large national wildlife refuge, and then was enhanced when Heart Mountain became a wildlife refuge. They're not that far from each other. From the north border of the Sheldon, you can see Heart Mountain. And from the ridges of Heart Mountain, you can look over there and you can see some of the peaks or some of the knobs, you want to call them, whatever. The lower elevation stuff that rolls like, you know, the Sage Hen Hills, Blowout Mountain, Badger Mountain, Bentner Butte. There's a whole bunch of places that you can see in the far distance over there on the Sheldon. And I hope if you go do that, I hope you become an advocate for the species that are so dependent upon these native habitats. It's not by accident that as feral horse numbers have exploded in this area, that mule deer numbers have tanked. We have 2 invasive species on the landscape that are killing our mule deer, killing our sage grouse, hurting our pronghorn. One is an invasive plant species called cheatgrass. The other is an invasive, non-native feral horse. And if you love our native places and you are an advocate and you want to see more native wildlife, I hope you get behind the cause to do something about both of those, because both of those are big problems. And until they're solved, especially the mule deer of the Great Basin are the ones who are going to pay the price for it. Pronghorn are a little bit more adaptable, a little more specific in their habitat. They're not taking the hit to the degree that mule deer. Sage grouse are just getting hammered because here comes all these feral horses. They just deplete the native range. There's no nesting cover. It's just really, really hard to be a sage grouse out here. So I'm in a place I love, but it is remarkable to see how drastically it has changed since my first time that I came up to this part of the world, just over the border in Nevada, to the Sheldon. I think 1986 was the first year I came there, so what's that, 38 years ago. And now you see how this landscape has been overtaken by a fire cycle of cheatgrass, fire, cheatgrass, fire, more cheatgrass. You see the water sources depleted and stomped down to nothing by the feral horses. And then you see feral horses without the number of mule deer, without the pronghorn that used to be here. So, cool, cool place. I really hope that you come and see the Sheldon Heart Mountain Complex someday, whether you hunt it or whether you just come here to see it and view the wildlife, learn the history, and check out one of America's coolest places. I don't know, Matthew. I've looked at the same pronghorn, all 100 or 150 of them here for 2 hours now, and I haven't found one that has grown any bigger than when I saw them 2 hours ago.
Well, we're gonna go back to the water hole, and I'm gonna see if I can fill some freezer tonight. So,
All right. I like that idea. You've given it 5 days of scouting and 4.5 days of hunting, and you have yet to see a buck.
I've seen a lot of cookie cutters that are all basically the same.
So you may as well go buy one of those cookies over there and quit window shopping.
Yeah, pretty much.
If
I mean,
you-
I like eating them enough. I don't want to go home empty-handed.
No. And I don't want to come all the way here and do this and not get in on some gutting and gilling. All right, let's go get the knives sharpened up, Scott Jones. Do some,
Get her done.
Get the
you do
knife
some
sharpened.
gutting and gilling there.
Yeah, get her done.
All right. Today's the last day for Scott and Jace. We haven't really seen anything different than what we've already seen. So there's one of those right here in the water hole on the way back to camp. So we're gonna walk out here a ways and see if we can get within range. We did develop an unfortunate crosswind in the last 2 hours, so it's gonna limit how far I'm comfortable shooting. And if this doesn't work, we're gonna head back to camp and see if we can find another one along the way. So that's the plan. Not much of one, but see if it works. There he is. Let's see if he's trying to wrangle one.
with that Dolan fawn.
Yep. Where'd he go?
See us or smell us, I've already seen us.
Oh yeah, they're gone. They're on full burners now.
Oh, be careful because he might chase. Cut them off. There's one of them that you see him coming out by the trees there.
Yep. Gonna be funny when they run right by Scott.
Well, they probably will.
Just be out there with his cell phone and I'll be within like arm's reach of him. No.
There they are. That group that was over to the left is coming back. You see in that group?
They're walking to the left, I see him.
Way over there.
Yep.
That's what I wondered. There you go. They're back?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go right back to the road,
Okay.
cut up, and then,
See if we can.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not too worried if we blow this one up.
No, I just want to make sure we have a close shot.
Yep. So we're gonna be a little risky here, and if we scare them out of here, no big deal. Try to make it to this big tree.
What's that?
Try to make it to one of these trees.
Yeah. If you could, it'd be great. Matthew. We're at 255. You see the buck in the top left?
No.
He's in the middle of the pack, but up top he's
I can't
chasing
see the
that
pack.
doe. They're gonna move pretty soon. The does are looking at us. The buck is horning a bush. They're all gonna go. You see him? No. He's the one facing right. He's in the back, far right. Get ready. They're gonna either come in front of us. You're gonna have to move forward, Matthew. You can move forward.
Well, I messed that one up. Took me too long to figure out which one he was, and they were already on high alert. So as soon as any part of us got around this tree, they just ran off. They're still down here, but I think they know something's up. So I think we're probably gonna let this group go and just see if we find another one on the way back to camp. So we'll see. We'll reconvene with my dad and Scott, see what they want to do.
You got close.
We did. They just stayed right behind the tree,
Yeah.
but then as soon as we poked around enough that I could get a sight line, by the time I picked out which one he was, they'd already took off. So I think they're on high alert now. We should probably...
Yeah, they burned all the way out of here.
Yeah, so we should probably just head back to camp and see if we can scrounge up another group on the way.
Sure.
So
Hard when you got 30 eyes looking at 30 sets of
Yeah.
eyes.
could have done it, just out of practice a little bit. So that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, Matthew, we didn't shoot one on the way back to camp.
No, we
Or
saw
you didn't.
We definitely didn't, but I also did not shoot one. Saw a couple, but
Yeah,
Jace and Scott are heading out tomorrow,
yeah,
so it's just gonna be you and me like the old days, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, the old days filming each other, right?
Which means it's gonna be bad footage. But
Yeah, folks.
We'll be fine.
The good footage has ended. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to be carrying a cell phone and a GoPro. And Jay said,
just get what you can. But don't F it up. Oh, I better not use that. Don't.
I don't know. That's
Screw
that's
it up.
pretty close to correct. I don't know.
Sorry,
Fine.
folks. Jace didn't say that. Jace is a man of high moral standards. He never swears. He said, don't screw it up. He said, Randy, you got one job, okay? So, I mean, what else would I be doing other than pronghorn hunting with you?
I don't know. I gotta leave noon on Thursday, so if we need to,
I
we
don't.
can camp out tomorrow too.
I say
Tomorrow
tomorrow we
morning.
got. I would go. I want to go explore some of this other stuff. Will you?
Okay, sure.
Will you humor me with that?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a great big one running around south of the road there.
I mean, we can go check it out.
That's quite the chuckle that you gave there.
I mean, everyone I talked to said that was not where to go, but maybe that's the secret. That's where
They don't
need
want
to
you
go.
to go there. It's like that's where all the big ones are. Send Matthew up there where everyone else goes.
We'll see. If one is dumb enough to stand 200 yards away, they'll probably be in trouble tomorrow.
200 yards, huh? I bet you I can follow that up. Hold on, just wait. Oh, wait, not in focus. Hold on.
It's okay. You'll record the wrong one, and you know it'll be fine.
Had that happen before, didn't we, when we were filming?
Yeah.
I was filming you. He shot a great big elk in the Missouri breaks, and I was on the wrong elk. We got the audio of me jumping up and down. Woo, you got him, you got him. Because I wasn't looking in the viewfinder. I walked over to the viewfinder, and one bull's still standing there. I'm like, oh, wrong bull.
Oh,
That's why I've had their job before, and it's tough. I don't want their job. Tomorrow, I think everyone's going to sleep in a little bit. Scott wants to get on the road by 8 o'clock, he said. So that means we probably only got to get up at 6 instead of 4:30. Get a cup of coffee. Head up there and shoot that one that's at that water hole you keep talking about. Call it.
I mean, we can try a different spot if you want.
No, we'll go to that water hole first. If that doesn't work, then we'll come back and do that.
Okay,
How's that?
sure.
How big a one does it got to be tomorrow?
I mean, above the ears preferably, but close is the main issue.
Close, like close range.
Yeah.
Well, that
Just
makes it tough
wanna-
when I'm filming in the spotter with my all-in, and he's 200 yards away. I'm gonna be able to see his eyeball even with my spotter dialed all the way down.
Yeah. That's the main criteria tomorrow is just be able to make a good shot on it. No, 40-mile-an-hour crosswind type stuff. So
I get to do the gutting and gilling.
sure. If you want to, you got it.
I've never had anyone turn me down yet. It's the funnest part of the hunt, folks. The gutting and the gilling and the cutting them up when you get home and the cooking them and the eating them. The hunting part, yeah, it's fun, but see y'all tomorrow. Don't expect anything great, though.